Welcome to the Corporate to Coach podcast. I'm Pamela, a former corporate professional turned certified life and business coach and mentor. If you're ready to sign clients, grow your soul-led coaching business, and shed the employee identity so you can step fully into business ownership, you're in the right place. Let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Corporate to Coach podcast. I am very excited today to bring with you a special guest all the way from my home country, England, Sonya Rose. So Sonya is a coach who helps women in their late 40s, 50s and beyond be seen, stop being the world's best kept secret and earn more money. She works with women who are brilliant at what they do, but still find themselves hesitating, overthinking, or holding back when it comes to being visible in all areas of their business. Through her work, Sonya helps women build self-confidence, show up more powerfully, and take action that grows their business and income. Sonya, welcome. I'm so very happy to have you here today.
Oh, thank you, Pamela. And that was a very nice intro. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So tell me about your story. What led you into becoming a coach in the first place?
So I was, you know what it's like, well, maybe not for you, but definitely my generation of women. We were, told to go to school, work hard, get good grades. And then in my case, it's like, well, go to university, that's the next stage. And then you get this job and you strive for this job title and you try to, my thing was that get a bigger team, all these different things that I worked towards. And I was doing that, and I was working in communications, and I was doing that for about 30 years. And then there comes a point in midlife where you just kind of realise, this isn't working for me, and I want something different. I want to change. I got to a point about 5 years ago where I was working in an environment where I was just always in a constant state of anxiety. I was wake up anxious. I'd go to sleep anxious. I was eating really badly. I wasn't sleeping well at all. It was just, and my eating was absolutely terrible. And I didn't do any exercise. I put on about maybe 4 stone. I was just really looking back, quite a mess. And also looking back, maybe I was in burnout, but I didn't know that at the time, and I really knew that something had to change. And I remember thinking, I have a good friend who's a therapist, a psychotherapist, and I remember saying to her, something, I'd really like to be a coach, and because I'd worked through, I'd done a lot of personal development work all through my life, really. And I remember saying to her, I'd really like to be a coach. I'd really like to work with women like me who have gone through or are going through what I'm going through. And her saying to me, I think you'd make a great coach. And me looking at her and thinking, well, you would say that because she's like one of my best pals, right? And then she looked at me like dead in the eye and said to me, absolutely not. I wouldn't say it unless it was true. And that really hit me. And that carried me through when I decided, yes, the universe, everything aligned. I got made redundant. And it was, I could either stay in the organisation or I could take redundancy. And I thought, no, this is my chance. And so I left and I started training as a coach and, doing NLP, understanding about neuroscience, etc. And that's how I moved out of working in corporate and working for myself and setting up my business. So that's my little journey.
I love it. I can honestly say pretty much for 75% of that, I swear I have almost verbatim said the same thing.
No.
Like, did all the right thing, went to school, went to uni, get the job, get the grad job, work your way up the career ladder. And for me, I guess it was more like, how old was I when I really had like a panic attack at work? And that's when I was like, wait a minute, something's not something's trying to communicate to me here that I am not a happy bunny, and I didn't even realize it was happening. Burnout, like you say. And I was like 28. I don't know what that's class. Is that like a, can't be a quarter life. That's not 120. That's like, you know, some kind of life crisis, but I don't know what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
But yeah, I resonate with that feeling, and I know so many of the listeners do too, because it's Corporate to Coach podcast. So like most people who listen are coming from at least an established career, even if it isn't corporate. But I'm curious, what industry sector were you in?
I was in comms, communications. That's what
But for who though? What kind of businesses?
Really large hotel groups, and and also I work in charities as well and things like that, which are like corporate. So sort of those kind of organisations.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas
Corporate
you know, like that. You know what I mean, kind of thing. So things are changing all the time. Things are changing all the time. But I also think that. When you're in midlife, you're going through kind of not only psychological changes, but physiological changes as well. Yeah. So when you combine that with the burnout, which I didn't know was burnout, you know, it really is when the hormonal changes the hormones are really kicking in as well, and you're having all those questions like, who am I? What do I want to do? And you spent a long time like just focusing on other people. It's all like this like perfect storm, you know, and you just think, in my case it was a perfect storm, and I thought, you know, I have to do something different. Right. It wasn't a need to, I have to.
Yeah. And what I find really interesting about what you shared is that you said you were in personal development for years, and yet this like perfect storm unfolds. Isn't that interesting? And I think this is why I'm always preaching to the choir when I go down this like rabbit hole. It's like, it just goes to show the difference with truly being guided with a coach versus, yeah, I read the books, yeah, I read the podcasts, yeah, I know personal development, I understand personal development, versus like actually investing and having the guidance of a coach to really do the inner work and really unpack everything. It's just a whole different level of implementation and embodiment and becoming. I mean, that's my perspective, but would you agree?
Oh, absolutely, because I've obviously I say obviously because I assume that all coaches have worked with coaches as well. But you know, I've worked with many coaches as well, and it's about, like you said, the deeper level, the actual personal perspective, the challenge that you just can't see because you know. My husband does this really annoying thing. When sometimes when I'm challenged by something and he said, but what would you say to your client? You know what I mean? Because you know what you would do.
My husband says that to me now too, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what, you create this monster. Yeah. So you know, if you were with someone else, a friend, a girlfriend, not even in some of your coaching, you know what we would say to them, the questions you ask them, how you support them, maybe even hold them to account. But it's slightly different when it's yourself, you know. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. And so when you went into coaching, and then but now you're a visibility coach. So was it always visibility coaching?
No, it wasn't, because and I think I feel that based on lots of other coaches I've met, it's a similar kind of journey in many respects, how you tweak your niche or who you work with, and you just become more comfortable. And so when I first started working, I was working with midlife women, right? You know, who were going through a transition in life, not quite clear what they want to do, need some support. That kind of message was what I was getting. And then I just and I think what happened was I ended up working with a lot of women who work for themselves, who run their own businesses, much like me. So I think I'm very much my ideal client. And what I was seeing is much like me at the beginning of my journey. It was like, you know, they were really holding themselves, you know, I was seeing them hold themselves back in various ways. And there was lots of stories and beliefs that they had around that, which I totally got. And that's when I just became much more interested in, you know, visibility, how it, and the other thing that I'm really passionate about is like especially when you're anyone, women, my mum used to call it like, what was it? Like mad money, always having your mad money. And then my aunt used to call it handbag money. You can tell where their mindsets were. But I mean, you need to have your own money. And I've also noticed that many women in my circle or women that I work with, it's really important at our age that we have our own money. Sometimes you think your life is going to be a certain way at this age, and it's not. And so if I can support you to put yourself out there and earn what you deserve to earn, that's what really interests me. I don't know if I went off track there.
Earning your own money as a woman and having the means to make your own money because you choose to, that's freaking matters beyond just having a job and starting a side hustle for extra pocket money. I think the conversation is bigger than that, right? It's like, as women, we need to build on behalf of all women and generations after us, and honoring all the generations that came before us and all the shit that they went through to allow us the freedom to earn our own money and start businesses. It still kind of fucks with my head that it really wasn't that long ago that women couldn't even get their own credit card. Like, it's like,
or a mortgage
or a fucking mortgage, right? We have a duty to, like, if we have the desire, I think we owe it to ourselves, but to women overall, to go after it. That's just rolled something up in me. That's how I see it.
Yeah. It is part of it. It really is part of it, because, women are in marriages and they hit their 50s or whatever, and they think that at this stage they'll be at this stage, and things don't necessarily work out like that. So if I can do anything, and if you want to, raise your game, grow your business, earn more money, then let's work together, because I can help you do that. That's how I look at it. I think it's really important.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so visibility then. Let's dive into that. So you said for like various ways women are holding themselves back. What is it that you see at that age range, I guess, that really stands out to you that holds them back in visibility?
I think that, when I talk about visibility, what I'm talking about is visibility in all areas of your business. I know a lot of people, or especially like on social media, whatever, it might get dwindled down to making a video or something like that, right? And my conversation when I talk about visibility is a wider conversation. So it's being visible in all areas of the business. So it's being visible when it comes to networking. It's being visible when it comes to stepping into those rooms. It's being visible when you speak up, when you're sitting at at the table with all these other important people who you decide are better than you. That story. And it's being visible. It's just speaking up for yourself. All the various areas where you can be visible in. It can be visible in the sense, but like sending that email with that proposal and actually stating the actual price, rather than diluting it. So it's being visible in all areas of your business. And of course you need to, like, not of course, but very many businesses also use social media and things like that. So being confident and visible there as well. So when I talk about being visible, it's not just about the traditional kind of making videos and things like that. Of course, they're important for many businesses. It's being visible in every aspect of your business and not being afraid to show up as yourself.
I love that. And you're right, it is every aspect of business. And I've seen recently, because I've had, I follow you. I love what you say, and your content is incredible. Something that you've said that I've never seen before, which I love the way you said it, is about the bracing. Is that right? Have I captured it?
The visibility flinch.
Flinch, that's the word. The visibility flinch. Describe that. What is that?
So what it is like, I firmly believe, and I think you probably would know this as well based on what you do, Pamela, is that a lot of women that I meet know what to do, right? They know what to do, but doing it is a different matter, right? And so what happens is just before you're about to, like I said, put forward that proposal, just before you're about to, you know, you want to do that summit, say, and you think, oh, I'd like to be part of that coaching summit. And just before you approach the person on Insta and send them a DM, you hold back. And that is what I call the flinch, that hesitation gap. And what I do is I work with women to explore what's going on in that gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it.
I'm so glad there's a name for that, because I literally did that about 2 months ago. I applied to a summit and had that exact freaking experience. I saw it, and the little I felt compelled in my body, and I was like, fuck yeah, I could do that. Maybe I should apply. So I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm trying to find the application link. I'm checking their Instagram, their social. I find the form and I find the details about the thing. And I'm like, yep. And then there was the two-pronged kind of, okay, now I've got to fill this form out. And it was just the aspect of that admin, and then I've got to find a bio. Jesus Christ, I was like, wait a minute, I've got many bios. I've got an about me section on every single landing page on my website. I can create a bio, so I can do this. So it was just there was the internal struggle of getting it done, and just being not just sitting with the process, and actually just right, I can find the words, I know what to say, I know my stuff, I can put it in writing. I got there, that felt good, I got into it, and I was as I was putting my proposal in, saying what I would share, what the takeaways would be, and then it came to posting it and sending it and actually submitting. And me being the ex-HR recruiter that I used to be, if you're going to apply to something, you might as well go all in. If you're going to submit it, I'm not just going to submit it and then be quiet. I'm going to drop them a message. I'm going to engage. I'm going to build that relationship, because that's exactly what you do in a job search. The same applies with opportunities and connections in business. And I braced. I did the flinch. And I had all of the internal, what's the point? I'm sure there's a million other incredible women. What makes me so special? Why should I? And then, but this is the thing, right? I've been in it a while, and it's taken a lot of work to get to this place, because hands down 2 or 3 years ago, that flinch would have happened, and then I either would have not pressed send or withdrawn or just left it open.
Yeah.
And I submitted, and that specific one I haven't heard back, but I applied to 3, and I've got 1 summit coming up, and the other 2 I'm still waiting response. I know, that's a lie. 1's coming up, 1 I got rejected, and the 3rd one I haven't heard back yet. And apparently she's still deciding, because I followed up. That's another thing, following up. That's another form of visibility that I was actually feeling all the fear around. I was like, oh, is it too soon? Is it too pushy? Is it too needy? All of these unhelpful BS thoughts that could be true, but you never... What can they do? Just say no? Or just ghost you? That's the worst that can happen.
Absolutely.
It's true in recruitment. It's true in visibility in your business. So that's a lived example, everyone, of the flinch.
I love that. That's such a great example. That is such a great example, because, and it's good that you shared that, and I could share a million, but it's about people recognising, or women recognising, that it's not unusual and they're not on their own. It's natural, and not to make themselves bad or wrong. And I think that for me, I have exactly the same, the same scenario could definitely play out for me, and it does. And what I've learnt to do, and I continue to learn to do, and you clearly did that, is to the speed of recovery almost gets quicker, gets quicker with time, with time, because I notice, here you go again, that rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. Here you go again, hello. Some people name that person, that conversation, that chat, don't they? That's what's coming on there. Well, you can just hold on. I am going to just, I totally get why you're here. You're here to protect me. You don't want me to be judged, embarrassed, or all that kind of stuff, but I'm not. I'm okay. I'm going to crack on with this. And we all, unless you're Jesus Christ, I suppose, we all do it. Do you know what I mean? We all do it, and there's nothing bad or wrong. It's just part of our growth. And I feel that when you're an older woman or a certain age, there's all these other stories that get piled on, about your age, other things that you make up. No, actually, not true makeup. It's the fact. You're older, so there's this comparisonitis against like younger women, perhaps, or younger people in the industry. There's things around. It's really, you've spent, like I said, probably a lot of time focusing on other people. So actually, like, giving this energy to yourself is also a bit of a challenge. And now you might have older parents as well that now to be like giving more energy to. So it's all these other layers that maybe hold you back from being visible because the patterns of behaviour that you've had for such a long time.
I think I agree. There is something in that. Like, I think it needs to be acknowledged, and it's not an excuse, but it's valid. Like, it is valid because anything that has been reinforced for longer is going to be stronger. Like, that is a very, very
love that
reasonable argument.
Yeah.
That it's okay to acknowledge that. And I would love, because I've worked with fucking phenomenal women who are in their mid-60s, late 50s. Ironically, not so many people in their 40s, and then it's like 30s, mostly like 30s to turning 40, and then a small handful of incredible women in their like 50s and mid-60s. And I'm always aware of it, and I feel the same way when it comes to parenting coaching. And I firmly believe a good coach can coach on anything, but I also acknowledge that when you haven't had the lived experience of something, there is going to be a level of wisdom that I can't bring because I haven't lived it. And I recognize that. And my clients hire me for a reason, which is incredible. But for my clients who I adore and are listening now and are in that older age range, and they do legitimately have but I am older and it does feel like I'm running out of time. So I've heard that from a handful of people I can think of right now. I coach them through it, but I would genuinely love your wisdom of what the answer is to that reality, because I'm not there yet. I am in my late 30s, nearly 40 at the time of this recording.
I really understand and appreciate when a woman raises concerns about the fact that she is older. But what I can honestly say, that the best time of my life has been in my 50s, right? Being in my 50s has been the best time of my life because I've got the most clarity regarding who I am and what I want. And a level of courage that I didn't have before. I wonder now, look back now, and I think I may have been walking around like in a parallel universe because of the way that I feel about myself now. And I would really, my message is to, I do get that. I do get the fear and all the rest of it. But I just want to assure them that, and I've got my friendship group as well as clients. You step into it, and we've got so much. It's so exciting to be who we are now with the wisdom that we have and the decades of experience that we have, and that is what's different. That's our USP. That's what we bring to the table. So I just think it's been the best time of my life. Really, I look back and I'm just like, people say I wouldn't want to be 20 again, and I never used to understand that, and I think, oh, there's lots of benefits, perky boobs and lots of benefits of being, but actually I get that now. When you get older, you get that now. You know what I mean? So
yeah, to be fair, I definitely, it blows my mind when people say they would love to go back to school, or I've not heard anyone say be in their 20s to me. but I wouldn't want that. I wasn't a wreck. I was ambitious. I was career driven. I was flirty, for sure. I was flirty with life. Like, life was very full of possibility, and it still is in a really different way. I think my ambitions were really different in my 20s, but my sense of like, put it this way, when I had the burnout in my corporate career, and it was pretty much that point that then like the rest kind of starts unraveling. And within like a few years of that, I ended up leaving and starting the business and all the rest of it. It was, for the entirety of my 20s, I was living in the reality of what it is to have a wide open enoughness wound. I wouldn't go back to that in a million years. If I could go back with the wisdom I have now, then for sure, that would be great. Like, who wouldn't want more time? But yeah, I hear you on that. I love hearing that your 50s has been your best yet. That's exciting.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. Best yet. Something to look forward to.
I believe you. I'm here for it. For you, leaving corporate and now being an entrepreneur, coaching business owner, what for you is the key difference that, because obviously I feel like it's a double-edged sword. We now have the benefit of being coaches. So of course we're going to be, we've healed, we step into ourselves, we're visible, we've expanded in ways that we probably never would have even imagined we'd need to in corporate. But aside from like the healing and the personal development, the coachy stuff, lifestyle-wise, what for you have been the big differences of corporate versus a business? Because one of the things that I have definitely noticed now that my business is more established is that at the beginning, when I didn't have as many clients and I wasn't as rhythmic with my marketing and sales and as confident in my marketing and selling and visibility, it was far more ad hoc, and therefore really I was quite inconsistent. Whereas now there's consistency, there's rhythm, there's a podcast, there's clients to answer to. So in many ways there's more tie down, similar to a job. I now take weekends, like things that I thought I didn't have to adhere to, like Monday to Friday, I now have a Monday to Friday again. And it's taken me like 4 or 5 years to find my rhythm with that, but on my terms. I'm curious what your experience of that has been.
I think what you said is so true, and I've probably taken a little longer to get there, but about this rhythm, I remember when I first, started working for myself, and it was a gentle move into working for myself. It wasn't like, some people say, I started my business on this day. I'm not one of those people. I just kind of started coaching and I was, and I was so excited about not having the structure of, getting on that train really early in the morning, spending a tremendous amount of money at Pret on a sandwich and whatnot, and all this kind of stuff on the way in. And I was just loving it. I was loving going to the gym in the morning and then coming back and all these kind of things. And then I love the way you put it. Then I was working late to catch up because I was at the gym half in the morning, and then I was taking a day out in the week to meet up with a girlfriend, or I don't know all these different things. None of those things are wrong on their own. There wasn't a rhythm, as you said. There wasn't a proper rhythm, I feel, that I had in place, which I do now. So yes, I might still take a day out, a Friday or whatever, because I don't want to work every day. A Friday out to meet my girlfriend to do what I need to do. But it's planned. It's not kind of like, I fancy doing this. It's much more organised. And also I'm much more aware of my capacity, because I used to overbook things. I'd see too many people in a day, then I'd be really tired and all these different things. So the word rhythm is fantastic, because it took me, I would say only in the last year or so, I have got that rhythm. And you mistakenly think that because you're not working for a corporate anymore, that you don't have to have well, I mistakenly thought I didn't have to have that level of structure, but you do. I feel that you work more effectively if you do have that level of structure. It doesn't mean that I can't take periods of time off. I can do that, but it's structured.
I 100% agree. That has been my experience too. Yeah, it's not that I only ever work Monday to Friday. I still 100% leverage the freedom of like, if I want to take a day, but like you say, it's more organized. And whereas before it was more like, what do I do? And then when do I fit the business in? Whereas now it's like, actually, no, my business is the president almost. And then if I plan to take a day, I plan it. Because, you know, there's clients to serve, there's things to do. So that I've really noticed the shift recently. And it's nice to look back at the earlier days of business and see that that's like, this isn't about, there's no judgment in saying this. I think everybody gets to go through that. And that's the joy of like leaving corporate as well. Like, have the fun, have the freedom, be glad your business doesn't have the demand yet, because when the demand comes, which is what I think every coach is craving, they want the 10K months, or they want to be fully booked. But that also means you'll be fully booked, which means you won't be able to just take a day off without planning it ahead. So it's nice to look back at that time and actually have some reverence for that and see that my business has grown. And if you're not there yet, then it's like parts of it that you get to look forward to, because, you know, we didn't start it to start. I always say you didn't start a business to create another 9-to-5. But it doesn't mean we don't have structure, and it doesn't mean we don't have a strategy, and it doesn't mean that we don't have commitments, and that we don't answer to ourselves. And it's not the same as a boss, for sure. But I also like sometimes make the joke, especially at Christmas, you know, when like friends or my husband who's got a job, he works for someone, he gets a Christmas party, and I'm like, I've got a Christmas party, and I'm like opening a bottle of champagne at home, you know. So there are like bits of it as well, of even corporate, that I now can look back on with reverence. That when I left and was leaving, I was so done. I was like, I hate corporate 9-to-5. It's shit. I'm like, no. People who have jobs are really important. There are nurses, there are care workers, there are electricians. They're the people who are like helping society run. It's a privilege that I'm the section of society that has my own business and works my own hours, but I'm not better than them, and it isn't better. It's just a different set of choices and a different set of challenges, which took me a long time. I knew intellectually, but it took me a long time to truly appreciate, for me anyway.
Yeah, no, I totally get about that done feeling. Cause I've been working for so long, like 30 years or so. So I really got I had that done feeling, but I also, you know, like you said, there's definitely positives about regular income and holidays and sick days, and there's definite positives to it. But the other thing I just was going to pick up on is the other thing I really focus on a lot. I think I've been doing it with myself and with quite a few clients at the moment. It seems to be in the air. Is about capacity as well, because I was one of those people, and I think it's a hangover from corporate days about, you know, doing a lot in a one day, you know, working into the evening and all that kind of jazz, you know, because you think I'm in the office at 8 and I'm leaving at 7, you know, and then to get the train to go home and do. And that kind of mindset was still very much, I had a mixture of like, this is, oh my God, I don't have to work like this. But then there was also, but I do need to work. Still need to work really hard all the time, you know. It was a real mixture of things. And it's being really, and I've got much better at identifying my capacity, you know, what can I do and also want to do things really well. And if I'm tired or I'm overworking or I'm travelling too much, then I find that I feel that I'm not doing things as well as I could do. I'm not serving my clients as well as I could do.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting the way the capacity changes? I have definitely seen this as well. I saw it in myself. I see it with clients. I call it deconditioning from the 9-to-5 mindset, because we know we've had to overwork take on, when a colleague is sick, or they restructure and then they don't fucking replace anyone, or you just end up taking on more because you're so good, but we're not going to give you a promotion or a pay rise. And it always is a bit of a lag. And this happens everywhere, or like all the time. And even when you get paid your worth and go for the promotion and get, move jobs, because that's something that I did as well. I did move career. I did get a ridiculous pay rise, and then the imposter syndrome sunk in, which is the irony of these things. But then when I settled into the job and then started my business anyway and left 18 months later, it was still a deconditioning, because it was just because I was suddenly allergic. My experience was that I was fearful of overworking because I didn't want to burn out like I had before. Okay. And so even though I could, I was holding myself back, and that showed up in things like visibility. And this is where, like, when a client comes to me with a visibility issue, is it visibility or is it a hangover from corporate? Because you know what it is to be visible in the sense of make yourself available for extra work, and you don't have the boundaries, and you don't have the self-worth and self-belief to know when to say no. And so we become our own worst boss, and then we create the no boundaries and the extra working. Yes. And it's not even that we're often sat there being productive, smashing out like email after email and like doing brilliant work. Like you say, when we overstretch our capacity, the quality tends to suffer, and yet we then burn out because we're still overthinking or overworking, but it's not as effective. And that has a negative impact on our health, on our mental health, on our business. It has a ripple effect. And then we'd say, oh, but maybe I'm not cut out for this. And it's like, no, you're definitely cut out for this. It's just we need to rewire all of that didn't served you in corporate, doesn't serve you in this environment, and it looks different. It's complex.
I love that deconditioning, because I definitely think, and it's not quick deconditioning. It's a long journey, isn't it? And you probably do one aspect, and then you see something else, and you see something else, and you see something else. I love that. It's definite deconditioning. It takes years.
Yeah. Even like still now, like I've been out. How long have you been out of corporate?
5 years.
Okay, cool. I left. Same actually. So I left in April 2021. So 5 years. Yay! 5-year anniversary. So 5 years, and even now, I'll still catch myself for sure. For sure. Just like with the summit example, and the flinch. Like I had the flinch, but I'm now at a stage where I can kind of catch it and work through it. I'm sure in another, I'd love to say next week, but realistically in a few years or another 5 years time, one day people will be approaching me for a summit, and it will be like, well, is the stage big enough, but you've got to get that. You've got to go through this to become that version of you.
Absolutely. And as you know, as you evolve, as you grow, as you expand, as you become the woman that you should be in your business, there's going to be other flinches. And thank God for them, because they show you which direction that you need to go in. Because if you feel that, it's like, that's quite exciting, really. That's, it's one way to reframe it. How exciting is this, right? Because that's telling you that's something that you want.
Yes. Oh, I love that. When was the last time that happened for you?
Oh, I would say, oh my gosh. I suppose a biggie would be, well, not a biggie, but it was International Women's Day. I was asked to be on a panel, and I got the email, and it was, nice on, we really loved it. This person's going to be in a panel, this person's going to be in a panel. And I just thought, oh my God, these people, she's really good. I love her. She's really nice, this, that, and the other. And I went into comparisonitis. I do that a lot. I went into comparisonitis, and I just thought, I don't know if I can, I'm not sure if I can do this. And this is all happening within in seconds, it's all happening in seconds. And then I just thought, I know that's a pattern of behaviour for me to do that. comparisonitis. That's one of my patterns. And so I immediately got back to him and said, that'd be wonderful. When can we have a chat? Because
Oh,
I thought,
yes.
once I sent the email, it's
Well, it's
happening.
done.
It's
You're right. You're
happening.
roped into it now.
Yeah, it's happening. So yeah, comparisonitis is one of my favourite patterns, and it's just because as soon as I think that I'm going to be exposed, visibility is exposing, isn't it? And that it can bring up those old patterns, but and behaviour that that doesn't serve you, but it will, if you lean into that too much, it really impacts your self-trust. So so for me it's about being aware that I need to address an identity shift, that I am the person that sits on panels, and I am the person that sits on panels with these type of women, these great women, and trust myself that no matter what happens on the panel, I'll be fine.
God, I love that. I'm so inspired by that. That is like kind of blowing my mind. The identity piece, 100%. And the way you said, like, I love that one. When that one, that's a good one. I'm like, shit, that's a great way to look at your the patterns that come up. Like, oh, there it is. There it is. Time to step into the new identity. I am so borrowing that, like, energetic. That is a vibe. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
The thing is, though, we can't. What I've learnt about myself is that even like, say, I suppose, like, when I was a new coach, my identity was I'm a new coach, and that didn't serve me. They got to a point when I realised that doesn't serve me. So my identity, in order to serve my clients and in order to serve myself, then there had to be a shift in my identity. And so my identity wasn't that. So I moved from I'm a new coach to I'm a good coach. And I work with and I transform them to do, because if you don't address, you can change your habits, you can change what you're thinking, you can use the affirmations, you can do all those different things. But for things to change long term, you have to look at changing your identity.
Agreed. Yeah. And you know what? I have a really interesting story about the new coach identity that I don't think I've ever shared before, but it's come up, so I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
Because when you shared that, I thought, oh, I bypassed that particular one. And then I was like, how the hell did I bypass that? Here's how. I never really went through I'm a new coach. Oh, like, can I do this thing? And here's why. And I think I'm really blessed in hindsight. I was really pissed off at the time to have this experience. I went through a coach certification for ICF. It was decent amount of hours. I can't remember how many it was now, but it was
100 or something, isn't it? Okay. It's a lot.
It's decent enough. And the coach trainer, so we had to do practice sessions, and we would practice on each other. We would take ourselves through the lesson plans and practice the code of ethics, etc., etc. And so I was used to being coached at the time by other coaches doing the same course as me. And because we were studious and learning the correct methodology and the correct code of ethics, I got quite accustomed to the coaching sessions being exceedingly above board, like very well done, because as we all progressed, like we all took it really serious, like you do take it really seriously. And part of my sign up, I got a bonus one-to-one call with the lead trainer / business mentor who runs the whole show. Now, she's been a coach at the time, I think, for probably 6 to 10 years, if not longer. So she wasn't as to the book as one of us practicing coaches probably were.
I understand, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't
Yes,
that
I
she wasn't
do.
a great coach. She was more a mentor at that point. She wasn't really ICF coaching me.
Yeah.
And I remember coming off that call being like, what the fuck? Like, She didn't, like, there were so many things that weren't technically the, like, code of ethics. And look, the wisdom was actually also brilliant, but I was just so like, I'm learning to be a coach and I want to be a good coach and it's got to be this way. And the code of ethics is so serious and the, like, process was so serious that after that, I was like, wow, fuck, I'm a great coach. So I never went through the, like, oh, I'm a new coach, please believe I'm good at this. I never had that because of that experience, which is so interesting to think about in hindsight. And so, but it's common. Like, I've coached newer coaches. I don't coach brand new coaches as much anymore, but it's a valid thing to go through. I was just very fortunate to have had that experience. But I think we get to take wisdom from any experience, and the key really is noticing, where are we holding ourselves back, right? Where are we holding ourselves back? And is there any evidence that we can find that means that we don't have to believe in that story anymore? And I guess that's what I did without realizing what I was doing.
No, that is so true. Our brains are funny things, aren't they? You know, we have these stories that quickly get into our brains, and then we just, like, make that mean something and then believe it. And you, like, you start, where's the evidence?
Yeah, it is. It's as simple as, like, remembering we are wired for survival, like 1,000 times more strongly than we are wired for our highest self-actualization. Thanks, Maslow. It's crazy, but that's just the way the brain is. And we can be mad about it, or we can hire a coach, hire Sonia, and and get supported, because this is the shift, hey? So on that note, before I ask you to share how people can find you, is there anything else that you feel that you really that you're feeling called to express before we wrap up? And take your time.
One of the things that I say a lot, and I mentioned it before, is I don't want anyone, and I really would encourage any women who are listening to this, not to make themselves bad or wrong. You know, listening to this and thinking, oh, I should be doing this, I could be doing that. You know, don't make yourself bad and wrong. This is like, if you want to grow your business, if you want to earn more money, this is one way that you can support yourself by doing that, by being more visible in all areas of your business. But the energy behind it is not that you are bad or wrong for not doing it, because it's not true. The women that I meet, they are really, like I said, brilliant, intelligent, smart women with decades of wisdom and knowledge, and it's just a new muscle. It's just a new muscle, and just enter it with that level of energy rather than I have to, I should, I could, you know, that kind of stuff, which I find is I don't know, not very productive.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So how can people find you, and how can people work with you?
So I am mostly on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I'm Sonya Rose Coaching on both those platforms. I am on Facebook, but not a lot. And I also, and if you want to work with me, I run often, like every other month, I run a workshop, and it's called Stop the Visibility Flinch and How to Make More Money. And it's for midlife women who want to grow their business. And I also work one-to-one with clients. I do Be Seen Focus Hours, which is actually 90 minutes, and I do a Be Seen Intensive course, which is more over a 6-week period. And that's when we spend a lot more time working and talking about the identity over the 6-week course, because that is what really shifts habits and patterns long term.
That sounds incredible. So the link for that will be in the show notes, as well as all the links to your socials. Thank you. And if anybody wants to connect with me, you can connect with me one-to-one and find all the details on my website and any other freebies or courses that I'm running at the time. So I am at Coaching with Pamela on all the platforms. Sonia, thank you so much for joining me today. I've loved this discussion. And everyone else, I'll see you in the next episode.